Of all the seasons, I think spring is the most exciting, particularly in a garden where it's filled with flowers, new growth and the promise of summer produce.
Hello, it's springtime in our garden and we have amazing blossoms come out. It's a major burst of colour and I'd like to share it with you.
Let's begin the tour to the west in the orchard area. Here we grow plums, apples, apricots and even a fig tree. Also pears. Spring began with the apricots flowering and also the plums. Next was the pears, which really had a lot of blossom this year and looked lovely. And of course the apples, and they were really nice. And now, after the bees have done their work, we start to see the promise of fruit coming and developing. See here the nashies and some figs. Now moving on to our pond, which is an area that's a nice quiet area with a little waterfall that we've put in. Here the perennial poppies are looking really nice at this time of year. They're a really worthwhile thing to grow. And also to the west of the house here we have a little garden and a covered walkway, a nice spot to show a bit of colour in the garden, and it's looking really great. This I believe is a Tasmanian native. I don't really know what it's called though. Some lovely flowers. We don't grow a lot of natives in our garden. Grow quite a lot more exotics, but we do have a Waratah or two which are natives. This is a New South Wales developed one, but the Tasmanian Waratah, which is what we're looking at now, is really nice and has lots and lots of flower. Really worthwhile plant to grow this time of the year, and it's a lovely tree too. The azaleas were really good early in the spring. Now moving across to the eastern orchard, here we have apples and peaches. Early in the spring we had the wattles in flower, which looked really nice, and of course the apples. Now coming across to the garden beds where we grow our veggies and also the strawberries and berry house. This is a view looking down on it. Here in the veggie patch, the main producer at the moment is the snow peas, which are just going fantastically. Young silver beet are getting started at this time of the year. In this bed, the spinach and the broccoli have been absolutely thriving. Young zucchini plants are just getting started. Strawberry plants are flowering and starting to set some fruit. We look forward to those. The Clematis on the berry house has been really fantastic. Heaps and heaps of flower this year. Really, really beautiful. I really recommend growing some Clematis. The bees are busy on the brambles, where flowers are turning to young fruit. We look toward to harvesting those in another month or so's time. Kiwi berries are absolutely going crazy this year. Hopefully we get a good crop from them. Coming around to the potato, garlic, patch, a cropping area that we have. You'll see it's doing really well this year. Potatoes are looking fantastic with the promise of a really good crop. And garlic is doing well, not far from harvest. These cabbages are promising to be the best I've ever grown in this garden. Continuing to the east, past the greenhouse and past the hens who've been busy laying eggs this spring, we have some black currants, and it's also where I'm growing the tomatoes this season. The tomatoes are settling in. Currants are busy with bees. We really do enjoy a few black currants. Make some delicious jam. Here in the hothouse, the plants are growing really well. Tomatoes are beginning to take off. The cucumbers are even starting to flower. To the southern side of our fence, we grow some ornamentals. Mostly here we're growing things that are resistant to the wildlife, and surprisingly rock roses are amongst those. Now coming across to our entrance garden. This is a little cottage garden in a what you might call a little courtyard area. Elizabeth has planted this up and made it look really beautiful. We really enjoy flowers. There's been studies, many studies, which have shown how plants make people happier. And I think flowers particularly, I call them food for the soul, because they really do improve a person's life and make you feel a lot happier. This is again Clematis, which has been so great this spring. We have got lots of Clematis growing around because they give such beautiful flowers. Now coming to the front of the house, and here you'll see the wisteria, which has just been fantastic, as it is virtually every spring, never fails to delight us with its beauty. We really love looking out of our house and seeing this garden. Some people ask, how do you find a place like this? Well, the answer of course is that you don't. You actually have to create it. You have to put the work in. Now sometimes today there is a inclination amongst people to have low work gardens that require little maintenance, or even more strangely there is a inclination to like rust. Some people like rotting cars in their garden. We much prefer flowers and really delight in them. The bees are really loving these flowers, and it's something to consider. Just listen to this sound. These bees are really enjoying the feed that they're getting early in the spring, and they're able to get some honey and some pollen into their hive to rejuvenate themselves after the winter. So I would encourage everyone to grow ornamentals as well as food plants. Make your garden beautiful as well as productive. So I'll leave you now to enjoy more film of our spring garden here in Tasmania.